do that last. We're going to explain or have a bit of a basic concept about the pineal gland, and then start digging into actually how to use that to get into the other world. So let's have a look at a bit of a basic level of the pineal gland, what makes it work, what's negative against it, and just so we've got a bit of science, if you want to call it, around it, so we can actually activate or use it to our advantage. So what I've had a look at, there's three basic things that will enhance a pineal gland, and then there's a number of negatives which I'll go into as well. Now, in life, we need to understand the duality of life in order to access much more than what we do just in looking at our physical world around us. Duality is so very important in life. We've got two eyes, we've got two ears, we've got two nostrils, we've got two arms, two legs. The brain is divided into two. The thyroid is divided into two. We've got two kidneys. The lungs are divided into two. Even the pineal gland is actually divided into two. It's not a single structure. It's divided itself, or it has two separate parts. There's so many things in the body where this duality comes in. And once you start comprehending that life is a duality on many, many levels, it then makes it better, if you want to call it. It then helps one understand that you don't want to follow one path, which has been my story from the beginning. You do not want to follow any one method. So you want the duality. Now, healing of the pineal gland, let's go into that part. The healing of the pineal gland uses two opposite methods to heal it. And I will get into it, why the opposites. Let's get there a little later. For now, one of the methods that heals the pineal gland is sleep. What sleep does is sleep is a natural healing agent because it slows the entire rhythms of the body down. Once you slow your rhythms of your body down, the natural healing action, the natural healing process takes place at a certain wavelength of brain activity, and your healing takes place. So you want to achieve certain types of sleep as well, not just general sleep. Sleep during the day is not going to work. You want nighttime sleep. And it's unfortunate that people have these nighttime shifts or careers that really messes with the healing of the pineal gland. So you've got the darkness on the one side. And again, if you have a look, that's the function of meditation. So you can induce the healing state through a type of sleep called meditation. And together with meditation, you need what they call relaxation. Now, relaxation is achieved through breathing. So the breathing process will calm the whole system down. And once you've got darkness, meditation with closed eyes or actual sleep, with a certain type of rhythmic breathing, your pineal gland starts healing. And this is part of the decalcification process. So it's not limited to one, or you've got to do special things. I'm giving basics. I've got three basics to heal the pineal gland. There are more, but I'm going to give the basics today.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, carry on.
Is chloride anything to do with this, what they put in water?
Yeah, chloride and fluoride, both of the, chlorine and fluoride are two negatives. Yeah, that's going to be the negative aspect that I will explain just now, what goes on there with it. So let's look at the positive, so we can say, right, let's group the positive things together. So the one is going to be darkness or night. The other one is going to be sunlight. Now, sunlight, if you study the life of plants, you'll realize that the moon is actually what pushes up sap through plants. So the moon gives growth, while the sun gives energy. So what you want to do with a pineal gland is, if you can imagine, nighttime causes everything to go within. However, sun causes everything to go without. So what you're actually doing through these two methods of darkness combined with sleep and relaxation, but let's go. Darkness and light is going to cause two opposite reactions, because it's called a pineal gland. Gland is very important. The way you heal any glandular problem is you want to cause it to express itself. So you want to shrink the gland and you want to expand the gland. So this movement of expansion and contraction is what heals the pineal gland. So the sun on the one hand is going to give it a burst of energy, and then the nighttime breathing and sleeping is going to close it down. And those two, that rhythm, depending on your daylight hours, depending on your nighttime hours, you're going to start now understanding why your pineal gland is more active at certain times than others. So if your rhythm of daytime to nighttime is equal, you're going to have a fabulous time. If it's unequal, you're going to start finding you're out of whack and you can't get in touch with the other side, your spiritual aspect of yourself.
Right. So.
And then yeah.
So that's like a good 12 hours sleep, or 6 hours, or 9 hours.
Relative to each person, you see, what we never look at, we always just only look at, oh, unless science says we should have our 6 hours of sleep. Science says we should have our 8 hours of sleep. But nobody ever questions, well, what's my daytime balance? So during the daytime, because notice the day and night are more or less equal. Again, you've got the duality. So when we look at the daytime hours, the day is actually divided really into 3 parts, not 2 parts. So you'll have your work time, you'll have your creative time, and you'll have your rest or restitution, recovery, healing time. So you want to have a look at the 2 parts. So let's take the actual conscious going about things. I mean, when you're eating, you actually shut off the brain and you start getting what they call autonomic or automatic systems move into play. So we need to take that into account. How much of your breathing accounts for your daylight and nighttime hours? So you basically got, let's work on 6 hours of day, 6 hours of night, and the other part you want to be doing other things with it.
What do you think about Donald Trump's theory about your heart's only got so many beats?
Yeah,
that's why he doesn't do exercise apparently. So he says your heart has only got so many beats. I don't know if he's joking about that or if that's something serious he means.
Yeah, the Indian ascetics talk that you actually have so many breaths. So you could say, going deeper than the heartbeat, your breaths are actually what define your life, your length of life. Not so much your heartbeat. So obviously, according to your breaths, you would only have so many heartbeats. So yes, you can either speed up your heartbeats, which increases your breathing, or you can slow down your breathing, your heartbeat, and therefore prolong your breathing or the length or the number of times you breathe. Because these exercises where you're going to over-exercise yourself, you're going to be speeding up your breathing. Speeding up your breathing, you're shortening your life. Yes. This is why the yogis and these people try and do what they call inner breath. So they actually try and cycle the breath inside so that the breathing in and breathing out is actually lessened. And that can lengthen your life. Yes, it can. Certain yogis are over 1,000 years old because they've learned to do inward breathing. Breath has been...
What is a yogi? Sorry.
A yogi is one of those, let's call it masters of the physical body, masters of the mind from India. So they guys who studied the various sciences behind prolonging life, prolonging the mind, mastering the mind, in order to help their ascension process in or to the other world.
Is that the same as is it the people who hold their hand in the air and all that sort of thing? Babbers, is that right?
Yeah, there's different guys that do different.
Are they doing that just to prove that this body's just with us in this realm and then it's useless, basically?
No, the body is not useless. The body has a very valid function, and that I want to make.
I don't understand why they'd waste their life in such a way, though. You know, like there's people that keep one leg in the air, and there's people that have 2 arms in the air, and you know, and I just think you've disfigured yourself, and what does it accomplish? Is it just showing the dedication to God or what?
What they do, you see, on the surface, us who are ignorant of what they're doing, we think, well, he's just doing some marathon of sorts, you know, holding his as you say, holding his two hands in the air or standing on one leg, doing these various austerities or these various extreme activities. But in actual fact, what they're doing is they are trying to stabilize the mind, because a stable mind is your most powerful tool. When people are upset, then we're happy, then we're sad. You don't reach the middle path, and the middle path is actually what takes you into the other world. So we really want to find the divide, the halfway point between good and bad, in order to achieve our higher state. So yeah, the yogis, those are not just physical external activities. We need to question what's going on with their minds while they're going about that. And again, there's the duality, the physical state, the mind. So again, you find the middle path there, between day and night, between happiness and sadness, between being full and being hungry. You need to find the middle path. You don't want to be extreme on either level. Find the middle path. That's what the Buddha taught. The Buddha taught the middle path. The other thing with healing the pineal gland is apple cider vinegar, but not the shop bought clear distilled apple cider vinegar that you buy. Apple cider vinegar that's homemade, that's cloudy, that's preferably homemade. You can go on the internet and go find various ways. There are lots of sites on the internet how to make your own apple cider vinegar.
What about honey? Does honey do anything good for you? Because I know honey's got it's the biggest food source with the most uses. You can use it for antibacterial care on your skin. They use it in medicines, and it can heal your sore throats and stuff like that.
Honey's got
you can make
lot of
alcohol out of it. You can use it. It never goes out of date. It can last forever. They found honey in the Egyptian pyramids that was still edible from thousands of years ago.
The secret there with the honey is to make sure that it's not been heated to extract the honey out of the
comb. It's got to be raw honey, raw honey.
That's it. Yes, must be raw honey. That is important. So if it doesn't say raw honey or it says irradiated, it's no good. You want the raw honey. So the raw, a lot of healing properties, as you say, a lot of healing properties, yes.
And people say this is why the Vikings were such good warriors, because they drank mead, and basically it's like drinking antiseptic medicine all the time. So thought that was interesting.
Yeah, what people don't look at with honey as well is not just the actual final product, but you also have to look at the I don't want to get too technical, but you have to look at the mindset of the creature or whatever's doing it to achieve the honey. That's also very important. So the type of mentality or the type of frequency or the type of energy that the creature has that's making a product is very valuable. So we don't want to only look at raw honey. You also want to look at the nature or the surroundings of the honey bee, when it collects, where it collects, from what area it collects. That all makes a difference. Is it in a high industrialized area? Is it in a serene area? Those all make differences. So again, we're looking at things too. Yeah, we're looking at things too limited. So you want to look at at least two different avenues, but you want to look at the duality.
Yeah. So would it help decalcify your pineal gland, honey, or not?
It's going to be a healing process, not to necessarily decalcify the pineal gland, but it's going to be a process that heals the body to help the pineal gland. So it's going to help your biorhythms, because honey's got a lot of nutrition. So once you feed the body nutrition, it will heal by itself. We always assume that health is because an external product is going to do some magic stuff on the body. No, it doesn't. The body heals itself if you can feed it correctly. If you can put all the correct nutrition, the body does the healing, not the products. Those products simply aid the body to get into its right state, and then the body heals.
Well, they call it the drink of the gods, honey, mead. So are they trying to give us some hints here? Because Odin drank mead and then he come to the world tree. Is there any, do you think there's a mix or something you can mix with it, make it sort of like an ayahuasca?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. This is what I think, but do you know what that could be? Have you got any ideas? I know raisins are included in it, but I suppose there's a recipe somewhere. There must be.
When you look at foods, it's not, as I said, a lot of people think they want the raw taste, like we want the raw taste of sugar to get that taste. We want the raw taste of anything. No, it's a combination. Again, you want to look at a combination. So one of the famous things, mead has that fermentation process. Alcohol has a fermentation process. So there has to be a time period, and what is not told within these time periods is during which time of the moon comes into play. So when we look at these fermentation processes, the moon plays a very, very valuable part, because the moon in its different phases is going to produce different energies. The sun is constant. It doesn't change its form. The moon, on the other hand, goes through its main 4 different cycles. Now, those different cycles will produce a different product. And I've tried it when I've made certain foods. I have cooked it at different times of the month, and you'll end up with a different product. No matter how accurate and how much the same you do it, because of the moon, you will end up with a different end result. And this happens also to us. We don't realize what the moon is doing to us on a psychic level, talking about the pineal gland. Yeah.
So people believe that the moon's not real, don't they? It's a spaceship or something. Do you believe it's real?
The moon nor the sun are real. The ones we see, neither of them are real. But they are satellites and they serve a purpose. The real moon and sun are elsewhere. So both of them, not just the moon. So again, that's been done for a reason. What I also want to stress here is people assume, because we have a planet of duality, we need to realize that the good as well as the bad are here. And we're tending at the moment just to focus on the bad, the bad, the bad. The bad is certainly there, but the good guys are also there. It can't be purely a negative place, because we have dualities on every level in our own makeup. It doesn't matter what level you look at, leaves, trees, it doesn't matter what you look at, everything has this duality in it, the 2 parts. And we need to look and realize life has got the 2 parts, and we're tending more to focus on the one. Yeah. And that's what's keeping us trapped.
You hear about these people, don't you, that voices told them to kill their parents and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Burn the house down and things. So how do you distinguish what's good and bad between the voices or the guides?
Okay. When you realize that you are a vessel to be either positive or negative, we have in Western science, different from Chinese science now, Chinese medicine, we have what we need, an 80% alkaline state and a 20% acid state. Now, let's just give them a nice ratio, and depending which side of that line you are, it's at 80% the line. So if you can give it a ratio, so it's not going to be equal, but a ratio. If you give it a ratio of which side, if you're more acidic or you're more alkaline, you're going to also tend to hear voices from either the negative, which would be the acidic type entities, or you're going to go to the alkaline state and you're going to start hearing from the good guys. So your acid-alkaline balance is also very important, which is what the function of apple cider vinegar is. Apple cider vinegar will help alkalize your body. Alkalizing your body accesses the psychic world. This is what people don't realize. When you go into a very acid state, you become more and more grounded in the physical. And you start becoming very, very aware of the physicality, the material world around you. Or if you can go into an alkaline state, and the correct, you don't want to go too alkaline either. It's not healthy. It can kill you. If you can get that exact 80% alkaline and 20% acid, you've got every chance of being able to achieve everything you want in life.
Can you give us on a daily basis what you eat, if you don't mind? To stay balanced like that.
All right. You want to understand foods not as, again, solids. You want to understand that foods require, according to the Eastern philosophies, food requires 6 different tastes: sweet, sour, salty, bitter, astringent, and pungent. Those 6 tastes need to be in every meal. If they're not in every meal, your meal will be out of whack. And you'll find, no matter how, haven't you found that sometimes when you eat, you can eat a large meal, a really large meal, and it's not satisfying. And you think, but I've eaten myself, I've stuffed myself, but I'm not satisfied. It's because one of those tastes were not in there. One of those tastes were missing. So if you realize that the art of cooking is not in the raw material or the raw product, but in the spices, you'll then start realizing that's the art of cooking. So for breakfast, I will have, for example, oats. With my oats, I'll add in my turmeric. Doesn't taste. In that way, I don't taste it. So I get my turmeric in on a daily basis that way. So I'll have my turmeric and I'll have my oats. I like to cook my oats and then have a bit of milk. I don't use sugar. I'll get into that. That's a negative.
Full fat milk or semi-skim?
Yes, I have. No, full fat milk. The story of skim milk is a fallacy. There's more fat people, and there's scientific evidence on this. There's more fat people on Earth now since we've introduced the low-fat diet than there were when we had a full-fat diet. So low fat is, the psychology behind low fat is it makes you, when you're lacking fats in the body, you start craving more sugars. Now sugar, I don't know how many people do this, go and do the research. Sugar has got a certain concentration of fluoride. So while we're focusing on the water, sugar contains fluoride, which is bad for the pineal gland. So you want to look at avoiding sugar. And sugar, the reason we crave sugar is because we have a low-fat diet. So if you want to get into a more spiritual or psychic or pineal lifestyle, you want to look at reducing all your acid levels and getting to that equal point.
See, that's where you've lost me now. With sugar. I'm joking.
Everybody's got a problem with sugar. I had a problem with sugar for many, many, many years, most of my life. I mean, who doesn't have a sugar problem?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody has. We just try and hide it. But the thing is to just be honest with yourself. You don't have to go admit it to everybody. Sort out your sugar problem. And it's not just say, oh, well, let's just take the sugar out, because you're lacking something. Sugar strips nutrition out of the body. And because it strips nutrition out of the body, you crave. And because we crave, we then start, the body instinctively will go and hunt out anything. So then we now start making bad choices. Then we beat ourselves up.
What's a good alternative to sugar?
Don't look. I don't want people to look at an alternative to sugar. I want you to look at putting the proper nutrition back into the body. So it's not a case of just pure or just, well, this is going to replace it. Like they'll talk of chromium. Chromium is a good substitute or to help you stop your cravings. I tried it. It didn't work for me because there was much more else wrong with me.
What about fruit and vegetables? Is there any good fruit and vegetable?
Yeah. But the first place to start is look at a full fat diet. Once you start going full fat, and then we start having this, we've been brainwashed now suddenly, you're going to have a full fat diet and you're going to pick up weight. I'll tell you what, I have a lot of smoothies, and our smoothies are not made with milk, they're made with cream. Full fat cream, raw cream that I've got. And I mean, I'm not a fat guy. So the idea, I'm trying to say balance, it's not excessive, but balance. So again, my sugars now will get them in fruits. So I'm not on a totally sugarless diet. No, I'm not. I'm eating it in my smoothies, where Pauline will now add in the dates. So the dates are very good to also stabilize the brain waves. Yeah. Dates are very good for depression. Dates have got certain nutrition in that helps the brain. So yeah, all of these things, to help you with the sugar cravings, you want to look at your fat balance in your body.
Try and eat more fruit and veg and cut out your sugar.
Yeah, but you want the fats. So you must add the fats in. So this story where we must also have lean meat.
Yeah. Have
full fat meats.
Yeah. So bacon and stuff like that.
Yeah, and don't go over the top again. It's balance. Find the balance. Find the correct ratio. Yes.
They should eat a lot of beans and doughs.
Yeah. Yeah, Pauline is saying, you know, proteins. Yeah, if you have, I didn't want to go into diet or health aspects, but yes, what heals the body is protein. Protein, bottom line, very simple, protein heals the body. Carbohydrates feed the brain. Now, our diets are riddled with excessive amounts of carbohydrates, so we've got these active brains, but we don't have the healing potential of the body. So our brains are so wired and getting so busy and so active and so over the top, the bodies are getting weaker and weaker. So we're actually ending up with an imbalance here, a lopsided or eccentric lifestyle.
So peanut butter should be up on the list then, because that's full fat and full of protein.
Generally, yes.
I eat a lot of peanut butter,
yeah.
A lot of stuff. Yeah.
We can't make everything wrong. Yes, have peanut butter. Yes.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, look at the size of you. If you have peanut butter, which is how high in fats, I mean, you're excessively overweight.
No. I do have to work out though. It is depending on your what's it called? On your metabolism.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I eat late at night as well, so that's where I put a lot of weight on. I don't eat during the day. I'm working during the day, and then I have my tea late, about 8 o'clock sometimes, and then I'll be eating till 12 o'clock at night.
Okay, let me help you there. If you, there's also scientific evidence. If you eat within 2 hours of going to bed, your brain can't rest, because your brain now has to create or cause other autonomic systems to go into place and tell it to do work. So if you're not resting the brain, you are not getting enough rest at night to access those other dimensions. We want to go into the spiritual world. Because you're eating late, what's actually happening is the brain is not in a calm enough state to access your spirit world, or to access your psychic powers, to access your guardian angels, the spirits, whatever you want to call them. So eating late at night, because of modern lifestyle, we're not giving the body time to rest. We're not calming the brain down.
Yeah, because I know if you want to lose weight, you shouldn't eat past 8 o'clock at night. And you always wake up feeling better.
Yes.
But like you say, I've not been looking after myself recently.
But what goes with that is look at your fats, and you don't want only now pure fats. You don't only want the good fats, because you get what they call the omega-3s and you get the omega-6s. The omega-6s are generally classified. Let's not get too technical. One is a good fat, one is a bad fat. But again, you don't want only good fats. If you only have good fats in your body, what happens is your energy conversion is too fast. Your energy conversion is too fast. You speed up your cycle of what they call the telomere cycle in cells, and they regenerate too fast and you age too quickly. So you don't only want good fats. So this is, again, you don't want to beat yourself up. If you want that piece of cake, go and have it. But understand you're lacking that, or you're craving that cake because your fat levels are incorrect in the body.
So do you listen to your body? Is your body telling you what you need all the time? Just listen to your body. If you crave a piece of cake, go and eat that cake. But there's people though that take it to extremes, isn't there? And like, you know, they can't crave Burger King every day. You get sick of it, don't you? I get sick of it. Everyone gets sick of it. But
don't make everything too bad. This world is very, very hard. Life in this world is very hard. So for a while, yes, we're going to crave and we're going to do wrong things. Study a bit on why you're craving, but it becomes basic. Carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Have a look at the balance of that, and then start understanding what sort of ratios do I need. But understand that a lot of us are lacking nutrition. A lot of us are lacking minerals. And when we lack minerals, when we lack nutrition, we crave. And when we crave, we don't always make the best choices, because the best things are not always available to us. So we're going to make bad choices. We're going to cause the body to become more depleted sometimes in certain positions.
Yeah.
We then crave even more, and so we start putting on weight. Do you think
then that large people, fat people, they may have something wrong with them that they don't know about, and it's telling them that they need more such a thing? They might be deficient in something, and the brain's telling them we need more of this, and they're just like shoving it in, but it's not doing what it should be because it's something inside the body. Do you think like they should go and see a doctor, or do you think it's something that people have not found yet? The doctors have not.
No, they know of it. No, they're very aware of it. The bottom line, a fat person is starving of nutrition. That's the bottom line. A fat person is not fat because they're a glutton. They're fat because they're starving. They're starving of the correct nutrition. So all they need to do is identify what nutrition am I lacking and go through to the basics: protein, carbohydrates, and fats. Protein heal the body. So first of all, their protein levels are probably out of whack, which means we look at meat and we say, but I'm getting my 2 or 3 meals of meat, or I'm getting enough meat in per day. Meat only contains 4 of the essential amino acids. There are 8 essential amino acids that we need in the body. Meat only has 4. So if you're lacking the other 4, you got to go and get them somewhere else. So now the plant source amino acids come in, which is in all your legumes and beans. So you want to, although you might think I'm eating a good, healthy batch or amount of meat every night, it's not adequate. You need other sources of protein. You're only getting in 4 of the essential amino acids. There's 8 that you need is amino acids.
And different meats as well, which don't just have the same meat all the time.
This is why you'll find vegetarians generally, I mean, some of these vegetarians, I look at them and I think I never want to become a vegetarian if that's what I'm going to look like, because they do not look healthy. And the vegans as well. Again, they've gone to extreme, again, everything in balance. So with your foods, you do want to get a varied diet, and that's generally why a vegetarian, generally, look at the animals. The animals that are most powerful are vegetarians. So you want to look at a plant-based diet because you're going to get a broader variety of foods. So yes, if you're going to eat meat, eat a variety of meats. A secret to eating meat is eat fresh meat. Now, I'm not a proponent of meat eating, but if you're going to eat meat, don't eat the oldest meat, eat the freshest meat. And the freshest meat theoretically means go out, kill it in the land, come back and cook it.
Yeah, but Holger, they're eating GMO foods all the time.
Yeah, well, that's another story.
Well, you should mention it on the chicken, because all that chicken is GMO.
Well, you see, Pauline's mentioning the genetically modified meats and all that. Again, you know, it's so bad. We got to start with basics. So let's just go back to the basics and say, all right, fats, proteins, carbohydrates. Find the balance of that. Read up various books on that.
Chicken is actually disgusting when you eat it and you sit there. You have a chicken breast on its own and try and chew through that, and it's so boring and tasteless after a bit. That's why you have to shove crumbs on it and deep fry it and give it a bit of taste and that, because it's disgusting. It's tasteless. If I get a mixed grill or something at a restaurant, chicken is what I leave, and it's just there. It's disgusting.
And notice in those crumbs are spices. So again, there the 6 tastes come in. Why a chicken? We love our meat. Let's eat meat. But if you eat meat, you're not satisfied because you're lacking the 6 tastes. Add the spices in that have the 6 tastes, and you'll find you get satisfied. You will, in turn, when you've got those 6 tastes, you'll find you naturally eat less. Because eating a raw one taste product will never satisfy you. So we eat more and we eat more and we eat more. In actual fact, we're starving because we don't have those other 6 tastes.
It's funny you say that, because now you say it, you find a lot of large people don't like spices and stuff like that.
Right.
You know, and this is where the problem's coming from, I think, is they're not experimenting with the food. Yeah, they're not experimenting, and it's strange. So, like you say, they're just shoving the same thing down the throat and getting the same results, and expecting something different all the time.
Too limited diet. We need to vary our diet. So the secret is go and have a varied diet and everything.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So we'll get back on the pineal gland anyway. Talking.
Okay. So the 3 good things for the pineal gland to help it grow, help it decalcify itself: night, day, and apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar to alkalize the body. When you can get your body into more of an alkaline state, or its correct alkaline state, the body heals itself naturally. So apple cider vinegar, raw apple cider vinegar, going to be one of your best.
How much a day would you take of that?
How much? 2 tablespoons a day.
Right.
I just take a swig. It's just, even though I've been taking it for a while, and it's still vile. You know what? I know what it does. So you know what? I drink it. I take it.
Yeah. You should put it in your smoothie so you don't taste it.
Golly, no, I'll spoil the smoothie.
Yeah, this is it. Oh, God.
But again, vinegar is one of the 6 tastes. Vinegar's that astringent taste, that thing that pulls your cheeks in. That's an astringent taste. So spinach is an astringent food as well, or got an astringent taste to it. So yeah, these
can we
things
talk about contacting the guides then?
Yeah, let's try and get there.
Yeah.
Okay, so the bad things for the fluoride now. The fluoride is one of the bad things, because what it actually does is, when you talk your pineal and, okay, I was talking about duality. We all tend to only focus on the pineal gland, but with the pineal gland, the other gland that's in the brain is the pituitary gland. Now the pituitary gland, one is positive, one is negative. People don't look at it like this. There's your duality coming in. When you look at the pineal gland, is going to take you out into the spiritual world or the psychic world or the other side, whatever you want to call it. And the other gland, the pituitary gland, is known as the master gland of the body. It will manifest or hold or organize, or it is the constituent or the main thing of the physical dimension. So the pineal gland to the spiritual, pituitary to the physical, the two linked up together will activate your psychic abilities. You can't only just work on the pineal gland. Pineal gland, we all talk about that. Yes, yes, yes. You need the two. Remember in the wormhole story, and remember with anodes and cathodes. You're not going to get into the psychic world with one point, with one main energy producer. You need two.
Is this what the yin and yang are trying to teach us?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Duality. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and duality on so many levels. Yes. The other negatives are, and with fluoride, you're going to naturally look at water. Now, water, the tap water, the municipal water, is laden with fluoride. So what fluoride does is, once these two glands, pineal and pituitary, are working, what happens is fluoride gets in, and because of the resonance of these two glands, it gets attracted. Fluoride is attracted magnetically to these glands, particularly the pineal gland. And then what happens is, it's not the fluoride per se that's a problem, but how the fluoride converts or gets attached. Once fluoride reaches the pineal gland, what it does is it converts fluoride into a calcium, a calcium crystal, calcium phosphate crystal. And it's the crystallization that fluoride does around the pineal gland that causes the problem, because then that pineal gland can't express itself. So that fixed or calcified pineal gland, that's where you're going to use night and day to start expressing. This is how you're going to start healing your pineal gland. But you want to understand that with water, because it's laden with fluoride, you now have to think logically. How many things in our diet use water? We're not just talking about drinking water only. All your foodstuffs, tinned foods, anything you buy in the shops has been cooked in water, town municipal water. The question is, we think we're just getting in fluoride in our water. We're getting fluoride in through our food, because the food is cooked in that water. And then on top of it, if you think about it, alcohol, what's the main ingredient in alcohol? Water, high in fluoride. So this is where alcohol has its value. Alcohol is very important, particularly whiskey. It helps calm the system down, not excess, but it will help you calm yourself down. So a tot of whiskey a night is actually not a bad thing. I'm not a proponent of drinking alcohol, but for those who do drink, if you're going to choose an alcoholic drink, choose whiskey. I hate this stuff. It tastes vile. I'm not one for all these things. I try and keep a simple life. So again, you got your fluoride, you got your water, you've got mercury. Now mercury as well is a very negative aspect on the body, but it's not just any mercury. Mercury, when we talk of mercury, mercury will naturally be extracted out of any living body, out of any living creature. Mercury can be, the body will get rid of it naturally, but it's specific types of mercury which have an when the creatures with the most mercury, or that contain the highest degree of mercury, are usually what they call the bottom feeders in the ocean. And what happens is those creatures are furthest away from oxygen. So when you start looking at your lack of oxygen levels, and those creatures then take mercury, that conversion is what makes mercury bad. It's not mercury per se, but the conversion of mercury that causes a bad mercury. That's where the problem comes, is the lack of oxygen combined with mercury. And guess what an acid state does in the body? You've got less oxygen in the body. So yeah, you're going to start seeing why you want that acid-alkaline level. I've already spoken on sugar, that sugar has actually got a high concentrate of fluoride. So again, knowledge is going to help you understand how to, hopefully through the knowledge, it will help you get rid of certain foods, get rid of certain bad habits. The other thing that's bad for getting into a psychic state is tobacco. What tobacco does, tobacco is an excellent grounding herb. It's an excellent grounding medicinal plant. So it's a very good grounding plant. So you'll find a lot of people who smoke are quite unsettled in the mind, and they need to just ground themselves. But the problem when you ground yourselves excessively is you hook, or you anchor your kundalini. That's that fire serpent in the body. You anchor it and you keep it down at the base so it don't rise, so you can't reach an altered state, or you struggle to reach your psychic dimensions. So smoking is very dangerous if you want to develop your psychic world. Have you got any questions on that?